What we're going to do today is try to create a vehicle that is air-powered, which means we're not going to have any say in pushing it ourselves. We're going to have to come up with some mechanism for it to go without us pushing it. So we're going to lean on a scientist, Sir Isaac Newton, and we're going to use one of his laws, one of his rules that he came up with, and that rule is for every action, there is an opposite and equal reaction. Okay, so that's going to be our rule. So let's think about that again. We'll say it one more time. For every action, there is an opposite and equal reaction. We want to start, though, with a quick brainstorm, just 3 minutes. So you have paper in the middle of your table and some pencils. If you can just take a piece of that paper and grab one of those pencils. So I'm going to show you the materials that you're going to be able to use. And then we'll pass those out and let you begin. So here are your materials. So start on this end. Everyone is going to get 4 wheels. The next thing that we're going to have is a paper straw. Now we're only going to get one of these. So as we start to think about how this machine is going to move, think about having one paper straw, but it could be used in several different ways, and it could be cut into pieces. So think about that. You're also going to have 2 of these small coffee stirrers. So they're pretty sturdy, and you're going to have 2 of those. The other thing you're going to have opportunity to use is a piece of really nice cardboard and then 1 piece of styrofoam. And then the last thing you're going to have is 1 bendy straw. Only constraints for this is it needs to be a vehicle, something that will move.
A banana.
Okay? So there's a lot of possibilities in that. Your wheels need to be used in any way that you think will allow your vehicle to move.
I'm going to get some measurements. I have all these color wheels. Tell me what color you're using. Oh, I know what you're doing.
Think very carefully about the title of our engineering class, which is air
Going everywhere.
And I want you to think about Newton, and for every action. Yeah, so you might cut your casing just a bit smaller.
Oh no. That's good. I'm gonna have to fix this with tape. I'm gonna shove some in there. Okay, we're gonna make my arm. It's floating. Rising. Maybe I should have made it like. I already put a hole in it. Well, you put a hole in the hole? Yeah. Okay, apparently. Thank you, Colin and Jenna.
To introduce our friends today, I'm going to have Mrs. Miller come up because she knows our friends well. So let's invite Mrs. Miller on.
We're so lucky today. Dr. Drizzle, I don't really know her as Dr. Drizzle, I know her as Daisha Jones. She has been a friend of mine for, I think it's been about 8 years now. We met at a conference together and just became good friends along with a group of other ladies. And we talk through texting like every single day. So she is one of my closest friends. But she has been working on a special project. I know some of you learned about Colin O'Brady. And she met Colin O'Brady and kind of partnered up with him to do some pretty awesome STEM experiments and offering STEM opportunities for kids like you. And you are so lucky. She is here today. She's going to talk to you a little bit about Beyond 7-2 and what the importance, I guess, of STEM education and how Colin O'Brady and Dr. Drizzle have partnered together over STEM. But I'm so glad my friend is here. So nice welcome to Dr. Drizzle.
So good afternoon, everyone. So we are here with Beyond 7-2. Our program is called High Adventure STEM, and I want to introduce you to our host,
that made today possible.
So I climbed the tallest mountain on each of the 7 continents, the 7 summits faster than anybody, completed the Explorer's Grand Slam faster than anybody. I was the first person in history to walk across Antarctica solo, unsupported, and unaided. And I also climbed the tallest mountain in each of the 50 U.S. states in just 21 days. But I didn't get here just by accident.
So just recently, Colin and 5 other gentlemen from across the world rowed across the Drake Passage. The Drake Passage is the most dangerous stretch of ocean waters between the end of South America and Antarctica. And they did 900 miles of rowing, no machines, no sails, and they did that in 13 days and were very successful. His next adventure is that he is going to be climbing Mount Everest again, but on the other side, and Jenna's going to be going with him. Now, I'm not going to climb any mountains for you today or jump off the roof, but I am going to do some amazing science for you. Now, when some of you were walking in earlier, you were looking at my table and said, she's going to do magic. All magic is science. Everything they do has science behind it. So we're going to start out learning a little bit about the science behind things. And the first thing is going to be some dry ice. And because she has known me for 8 years, my first volunteer is Miss Miller. So Miss Miller, come on up. I am going to add some dishwashing liquid here. And I want you to come over and pour some water in both of these. And watch what happens. Okay. So let me explain the science behind this. All right. So you notice when she poured water in here that this immediately dissipated into gas. Now that's kind of unusual because we know that solids usually go from a solid to a liquid and then a gas. But here we are talking about frozen carbon dioxide. And what do you notice that's happening here? Bubbles. Guess what? I can touch those and they turn. So can you do a couple of that? Great. Now this is not dangerous. Do a little bit more. Come on. Come on, Mr. Yeah. All right. So the only water that's happening now is coming out of those bubbles. But it's very important to know what temperature does to water, what temperature does to our bodies. When Colin is out on his big adventures, he has to understand the idea behind temperature and how when it drops very low, things freeze very quickly. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is his mountain climbing. So adventurers like to climb mountains. They like to do it because it's pretty fun, and I've actually done some rappelling myself. So I've climbed several mountains and then harnessed myself up with harnesses and used ropes and carabiners to get back off the mountain. Now, Colin does it by putting his feet on the side of the mountain and jumping back. That has something to do with a guy named Sir Isaac Newton. So he says that an object in motion stays in motion unless it runs into something or hits the ground. And an object at rest stays at rest. So right now, I have beads. So these are just plastic beads that are tied together, and there's quite a bit of them. I'm going to see if Sir Isaac Newton was correct. I want to see if what he said about an object in motion stays in motion works. So cross your fingers. Here's where the magic could happen, but it won't happen if the science isn't right. So I'm going to drop. So was Sir Isaac Newton correct? So an object in motion stays in motion until it hits the ground. So the message that we want to share with you is that anything is impossible, but everything can be possible. So we want you to think about things that you think are just really hard for you and know that you can be possible. In fact, the word impossible, if you split it in the middle, it says, I'm possible. So Colin doesn't think that you're going to all be mountain climbers or champion skiers or rowers, but he wants you to know that all the stuff you learn in school can make you possible. So Jaslyn is going to be my helper, and she's going to demonstrate something about air pressure. Hey, Jaslyn, how are you? Today we're going to use the hair dryer to demonstrate air pressure and streams of air. So I'm going to ask Jaslyn to turn this on and to hold it straight so that the air is going in a thin column. And we're going to try to balance a ping pong ball on that air. As you can see, that ping pong ball is balanced in that airstream. Now, if I decide to put my hand through it, it drops a little bit. And if I completely cover it, it's going to drop. We're going to have her balance the ball, but I'm going to have her turn towards you a little bit. And she's going to turn the hair dryer about 45 degrees. I'm going to put the microphone down and help her. Okay, so we're going to turn it this way, just a little bit. Give her a hand. Looks like magic, but it's really what? Science. Everyone put your arms out a little bit. You are now a plane, and the air that comes underneath your wings is what lifts the wings, gives it that little thrust and lift, and helps an airplane fly. I'm going to challenge all of you to learn as much science as you can behind everyday things that you do. So if you're riding home on the bus, then research why the gas in that engine makes that bus move. Or if you're jumping rope, research how your brain knows for your feet to come off the ground the same time your arm is in the air. Or if you're skateboarding, research how the person knew how close to put those wheels together to make the skateboard fly. There are a lot of questions we should be asking. I love this morning when your principal gave you that wonder question. Boys and girls, your teachers are all extremely smart, and they never stop learning. They're always looking online and taking classes and reading because they want to learn more, and we want you to learn more too. So we know a physical change is something that can change color or size or shape, but then return to the same shape, color, or size that it was before. And we know a chemical change is something that changes all of those properties but can never be put back. For example, if I were to have a slice of bread and then put it in the toaster and burn it, I can't get it back to that original slice of bread. We're going to try to get a chemical change to happen. We're going to mix a little liquid and a little solid to make a little gas. Now, remember in the dry ice, that went straight from a frozen gas to the gas. This is going to be a little bit different. So they have film canisters. So back in the day, when your moms and dads were little, we used to have cameras that you would put long pieces of film inside of. And then we would take the pictures of Christmas or Thanksgiving or birthday parties, and we would take them to the store, and they would take that piece of film out, and it would take 8 to 10 days for your pictures to come back. We're going to use these film canisters to be our rockets. Are you scared? No. You should be. They have put the canister tops on and off to practice making sure they could seal them. Now they are pouring a very small, just a few milliliters of water into this canister. So there is their liquid. Now, just a liquid is not going to work. We're going to have to add something to it. In just a moment, we're going to add an Alka-Seltzer. Now, an Alka-Seltzer is a tablet that fizzes when you add water to it. Sometimes mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or whoever you live with takes it because their tummy hurts. And that fizz, that carbonation settles their stomach some. You may have had that same experience and your mom gave you a 7-Up or a Sprite or something with a little fizz in it. Well, we're going to use that tablet to mix with that liquid to see if we can produce a gas. Well, that's fun and we can do it and the bubbles will bubble and, well, but I want to make it go up in the air. So here's what we're going to do. When I say go, and not before, they're going to drop the tablet into the canister. They're going to quickly and safely put the lid on the canister. They're going to listen to make sure it popped close. Because if it does not close, what's going to come out? The water, right? It's going to fizz out and nothing exciting is going to happen. And I want something exciting to happen. All right, you're going to help us. Now they're going to be turning the canister upside down. And if the magic, the science works, we should see a little action. Watch their faces, especially your principals. He's got, oh yes, I forgot. We have one extra tablet. You're doing 2.
Oh, my.
Remember, you don't go till I say go. Take your time. You really want it to click on there or nothing will happen. All right, you're going to help me. We're going to count down from 5. 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Let's give them all a hand. Explorers all over the world use drones to help them decide if something is safe before they do it. So before they climb a mountain or go down into a cave, they can sometimes send a drone to check it out. But it's not just explorers. When we have these huge wildfires across the country, we have firefighters will send drones in first because drones usually have photography and videography capabilities. There's a camera there. Now, I brought a drone today, but my drone's a little different. My drone does not work by coding. My drone does not work with my phone. My drone works with gestures. So I want everyone to put their hands right here and act like you're getting someone to come to you. So I'm going to try to get this drone to work, and you are going to gesture the drone. Are you ready? Gesture. Thank you. There is a lot of money out there for careers for you to have when you finish school. This morning I was very honored to help out in 2 of the STEM classes. And it was so evident, teachers, how quickly I knew that this was the STEM school. You have to know that across the country, there are a lot of schools that have STEM in their name. It doesn't mean anything unless kids can collaborate and communicate and critically think and be creative. And that's what I saw this morning. And Miss Miller said that if I had seen any class in this school, that's what I would have seen. And we've been friends for 8 years, and she does not lie. So I'm very impressed about what you're doing. Kids, I'm very impressed about what you're learning. I had a student this morning say, Dr. Drizzle, I worked for the whole hour, but it finally worked in the last 5 minutes. Something that I need you to have in your life. First of all, patience. Your teachers have a lot of that. Now that comes with age and comes with just their job, but they also have a lot of time management skills. You need those types of skills too. You need to learn how to never give up, to be patient, to organize yourself. I know a lot of you, if we went home right now and looked under your bed, there's a lot of stuff under there. You need to learn how to clean up after yourself, because these are skills that will get you those really good jobs. So boys and girls, I encourage you to be the best person that you absolutely can be, that you try to master the impossible and try to be possible. And we're going to take the Dr. Drizzle pledge. So raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Promise to be an amazing engineer. To turn magic into science. To have a passion for learning. And to be always kind to others. Amen. Thank you so much, guys, for having me. Teachers, you are amazing. I love you much.
A lot, didn't we, boys and girls? Okay, it is time to head back to class, so we're going to do that in an orderly and quiet fashion, like we always do.
My name is Asher. I'm in 4th grade. My favorite thing is probably the houses that we build for our town. My teacher is Mr. Holden.
My name is Faith, and I'm in 5th grade. My teacher is Mr. Burwell. I liked how we did these really fun experiments, and I think they were really interesting to do. My favorite thing being here is probably just the building part, and I like doing engineering, and I think we have more activities and more hands-on stuff too.
My name is Adeline, and I am in 5th grade. This is my first year at Barbara Morgan. I like the clubs that we have sometimes after school, like robotics and leadership are the 2 clubs I'm in. I think I might be a paleontologist when I grow up, or a book writer.
My name is Luke, and I am in 4th grade. My most favorite thing about school would probably be learning new ways to do math. I like math, and it's probably my favorite subject. I really like the idea of being a zoologist. I have 4 cats at my house and 1 fish. I don't know if I want to build one or just find one, maybe like start out with one and then build one. Today was fun. I liked the experiment with the tab and how it popped and made the rocket.
My name is Jameson, and what grade I am in is in 3rd grade. I don't know, I like to go outdoors, go to my friend's house. I like to play sports with my dad. Best thing about school is I kind of I don't know, kind of like going to specials, moving to a different classroom and doing stuff with them, and kind of that's it. Yeah, teacher's awesome. Favorite part about today was kind of the STEM PBL, and the favorite thing that I liked was the poppers that went to the ceiling and stuff.
My name is Jillian. I'm in 5th grade. I've been going here since kindergarten. The school is special because it has a STEM-based curriculum, and that's really fun. My favorite PBL is probably the one we did, making podcasts. I really liked how there were how you elaborated on how dry ice is, how it's created. I like learning stuff like that.
My name is Kim Miller, and I'm a second grade teacher at Barbara Morgan STEM Academy in Meridian, Idaho. Our school is a STEM school. We were set up 7 years ago as a school of choice. So our district has 30, 40 elementary schools. Parents can choose to send their kids here, and it's a lottery process. So we're still a public school, but we're considered a school of choice. And so we started 7 years ago, and we really wanted to focus on project-based learning. So we have a common planning process that we do school-wide, and we do PBL, kindergarten through 5th grade here. We really try to embrace a culture of failure here that everybody is really comfortable with failure, and that is not common, and I think we forget that a lot here. You go out and you talk to other teachers and what do your kids do when their bridge breaks? Don't they just fall apart and cry? No, and no, they haven't done that for quite some time. The first year or two that we started this, there was a lot of crying when things break or frustrations or upsetness. But we've been here long enough now, and we've had these kids since kindergarten, that failure is just like a normal part of learning to them. They just kind of roll with it. So that is really unique to the kids at this school. I think that we sometimes forget that kids aren't normally like that we have taught them that culture of failure is a good thing, embrace it and learn from it from the time they're in kindergarten. So I love that piece about our school that you don't see everywhere. Today was incredible. I was able to pop in and see the small group lesson with both the 5th grade and the 4th grade. And so I guess I'll start there. Our STEM teacher, has been working on just the challenges with Colin and educating the 4th graders. She did all the projects with the 4th grade group of kids. So when I even went and announced to them that wow, your class was chosen to do a special project with Dr. Drizzle, they were like, what? They knew all about Colin, and they were so excited to do a challenge that was related to the challenges that he had faced. So that was a really big deal to them. And then being able to step in and see that in action, the kids were just thrilled to be able to just build and have that connection to it. I know that one of the students that I work with on my tech club, he goes to a GT class every Wednesday, and he knew this was coming up, and he made the choice to skip and not go to his GT class today so he could stay here and participate, not just in the build, but in the assembly as well. And so I asked him after the assembly, I'm like, hey, buddy, was it worth it? Was it worth the skip of GT class? And he goes, every minute of the skip. So that was kind of cool to see the kids just excited. They love to build. They love to engineer. They loved the connection with Colin. I didn't get to talk to the other group of kids, the 5th graders, as much about that connection, but the same thing, they were just excited to build and love that. The assembly, my kids, when we came back and we were talking about it, they loved hearing about the adventurer piece of it, and they loved hearing about the science behind what they were doing. We often get quickie little experiments here, and we've had STEM Bus and other people come in and do experiments up in front of us whole school wide, but very rarely do they explain the science behind it. And that is what the kids appreciated, and even the teachers, as I talked to them, we appreciated having the kid-friendly language explanation of the science behind the fun aha things that you do. So that was great. Loved it. So yeah, it was a fantastic day. The kids loved it. It was a wonderful experience. And just to have this opportunity that was provided for our school was wonderful. So we're so thankful that Dr. Drizzle was able to come and that Colin and Jenna provided this opportunity for our students. It was just a very magical day for them.
My name is Ryan Wilhite. I'm the principal at Barbara Morgan STEM Academy. We're a K-5 STEM school in the West Ada School District in Meridian, Idaho. We teach our standards through a lens of science, technology, engineering, and math. We utilize project-based learning as our foundational instructional model to teach those standards, so the learning is integrated and hands-on and relevant to STEM fields and careers. I started my career as a high school biology teacher, and then got into administration. Worked at the middle school level for a while as an administrator, and when the district wanted to open this school, I just felt like it was a perfect fit, and it allowed me to be a science educator and a principal at the same time. So it's really been a dream job for me. It was so great. It fit beautifully well into what we were doing, and the lessons that we did in the STEM lab with the air-powered and wind-powered vehicles was very engaging. I thought the kids did a great job with that, and the assembly was excellent. It integrated the STEM concepts in a way that was fun and engaging, for the kids. And I thought all the kids, kindergarten through 5th grade, were super engaged and had a lot of fun with it. And I think we're really inspired too by Colin's story and his adventures. So it was neat for them to be able to see his example.